All right, Mr. Obvious, take him out.
Uh-oh, we got sugar diabetes attack.
Oh! All right, 4570 versus diabetes.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. We clear, Mr. Obvious?
We're clear. Whoa!
I think I just winged him. Last Minute Man, we're back today on the range. I'm with my good buddy, Mr. Obvious. And today we're going to talk about another hard-hitting caliber. It's one that is probably never been underrated. People love these. And what might that be, Mr. Obvious?
Oh, that'd be the massive hard-hitting 4570.
Excellent in their range. I mean, you'll watch videos of guys shooting these things a mile, you know, with those big sharps, you know, and the Quigley rifles and whatnot. But today what we have is a 1895 Marlin guide gun. This has been cleared. But I got this thing back when I was 20 years old. So it is a JM stamped. But it's an excellent shooting gun. I really like it. It's handy in the range that I'm using it, which would be maximum 200 yards probably. But we're out here. We'll check out the trigger pull and everything for you guys. This isn't really a review on the gun. It's more of a review on the caliber. This happens to be the only thing we have currently in a 4570 though. So you won't get the full effect of a long barrel and whatnot. But show them the bullets we're shooting today, Mr. Obvious.
Oh, first of all, we've got the one that me and Last Minute Man, he molded the bullets. I went ahead and loaded them. 405 grain cast bullet. Now we are shooting hand load with these. We're going to check them through the chronograph again today.
Excellent.
And hopefully we don't blow it apart.
Well, I don't think we will with these. These aren't running the pressures that the 338 and things are. Yeah,
then,
but we'll see.
Yeah, then we got a 405 grain copper jacketed soft point.
That's a Remington core lock.
Then looks like we have a Hornady sneaked in here on me. So,
yep, that's the Lever Revolution ammo.
So we'll see what the speed is. I know a lot of people's going to be excited to see. I've heard a lot of bragging to go on about the Revolution. So let's see what it does through the chronograph. You're going to get to see it.
And what's really funny about these, and we've shot these a couple times already, just kind of see where we were hitting. And what's real funny is our hand loads are shooting about, oh gosh, a foot higher at 50 yards than the factory Remington core lock. So forgive us for our inaccuracy, but we'll do the best we can with what we got. And
we'll a little Kentucky windage on that.
Yeah, so I'm actually aiming under the target at 100 yards, about a foot.
Well, tell the folks at home what grain bullet is. I don't really know.
That's a 325.
325.
And it's been my experience in the past, and we'll see what happens today. The camera's rolling today, so no excuses. But in the past, I've shot these, and it could have a lot to do with me shooting offhand and my trigger pull and whatnot. But when I have shot these in the past, they tend to print considerably a lot lower. You know, I'm talking 4 or 5 inches at 100 yards lower than a standard 405 grain, which I think is a little bizarre. But
so we know we're going to get a little more speed with a 325 grain. So we'll see what happens there.
All right.
But
go ahead.
If you want to, we can do the trigger pull.
Yep. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Well, here we go, Mr. Obvious. Show us that trigger pull.
All righty. We'll double check. Make sure we are on an empty chamber. Safety's off. Yes. All righty. Let's get the trigger pull going here. See what we got. There's 5.5, 6. Ooh. Right about, it may have bounced a little bit. 6.5.
Yeah.
We'll do it again.
That's not what I would call a light trigger pull, folks.
No, it's not light at all.
Might want to work that.
5, 6 pound. I heard it bounced on me, so it's got a 6 pound trigger.
All right, and again, that's not ideal at all, but that seems to be the nature of the beast when you're dealing with lever actions. Of course, I'll slick that up in the future, but all right, let's get to shooting, Mr. Obvious.
Let's do it.
All right, so we're going to start out with this Remington green and yellow box core locked ammunition, and we're going to shoot this with the chronograph. Let's see what we do. I'm going to shoot 2 of these. All right. Okay. Okay. We're at 1,136 feet per second, which is about what you'd expect. They say these are safe to shoot in a black powder, but I missed the target and hit my pond back there, so we might get some fish for dinner. We'll see.
Yeah, it's not spray when
Didn't know
there.
a 4570 was a fish killer, did you?
No. Yeah, I'd say it thumps that water pretty hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do this next one here.
Okay, what bullet you got in there now?
All right. There we go.
Oh, wrong
That's
stick.
swinging that plate, buddy.
Oh man, it hit hard.
1,220.
Okay, what bullet was that one?
So
Was that?
these aren't.
Is that the soft point or the Remington?
Yeah, these are just the core lock.
All right.
So yeah, these aren't moving radical speeds, but that's one of the benefits really of a 4570. You got a big slug that's hard hitting. Velocity isn't really necessary for these to be effective within their range. So we'll come right back. I'm going to let Mr. Obvious shoot his hand loads here. All right, Mr. Obvious, what you got there for us?
All right, we've got these lead cast bullets that we have molded up, and we have loaded them, and we loaded them with varget. This is one grain underneath manual specs, so I've got 45 grains of varget in here, so it's not a lot, but you know
They pack a punch.
Yeah,
I mean,
pretty good punch. So.
I'm gonna make a prediction that these are shooting faster.
Faster?
Yeah, I'm gonna make a prediction.
I think we're gonna beat the.
Get over here, Liberty.
Looks like 1,220 feet per second on that last shot.
Yep.
So let's see if the hand loads will actually travel faster. Get this air plug in.
Woo!
1,255.
That's a little faster.
Is 1220, 1255, so the cast is a little faster.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's sweet.
And these should be consistent because they are hand loads.
Yeah, so we will try one more, see what it does.
Woo! 1279.
1279. So
Yeah. And following in good form, we blew apart the chronograph again, which is great to see. So there's some pressure coming off of it.
Well, you know what? Really, a 4570, other than lead being expense, trying to get a little lead.
Oh yeah, lead costs money, people.
But powder, only 45 grains.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great shooting. Now I see why a lot of these sharpshooters is out shooting these guns. They don't have a lot of primer and a little bit of powder. The bullets, they casting their own bullets, and they're shooting real cheap actually. So
Yeah.
that's a good thing to know. You get to shoot a big game load, big game gun, and get quite a bit with it.
All right, let's get on to those lever revolutions. All right, so now we're going to start with this lever revolution ammo. I'm going to shoot one and let Mr. Obvious shoot the other one because these things are expensive. So if you want, zoom in so the folks can see. The cast bullet was 1,279. That was the last shot.
Yeah.
Of course, we'll average them at the end here. But now we're going to do these and let's see what they do. All right. All right. Here we go.
Woo, I seen water fly up.
1,786.
Wow.
So that's moving a lot faster.
Let's
see what it does for you there, Mr. Obvious.
All right, we have another one. We are going to see. We got 1,786 out of the last one. Let's see what this one does.
And I'm pretty sure we got sushi on that last one too.
Yeah, there's
I hit water. Good God, man. 1,773 feet per second.
So it's running consistent too.
Golly.
I mean, Hornady is...
that's good stuff.
That's good stuff, Hornady. Keep putting it out.
I just want to point out real quick, we cannot go an entire video without blowing out this poor chronograph. This thing's taking a little bit of punishment, but absolutely, she's a dandy. All right, we're back, and we've done some Kentucky figuring here. So we did our ciphering.
Yep. And
with the Remington core lock ammunition, we were averaging 1,178 feet per second. With the hand loads, we were averaging 1,267 feet per second, which gives us a difference of 89 feet per second. 89 feet per second is a difference, but it's not gonna, change the world or anything. But remarkably, those hand loads are shooting, they're shooting a real tight group out there.
Oh yeah.
But they're shooting so much higher. I mean, I'm having to aim underneath the target and my rifle tends to shoot a little to the right. So I'm aiming a foot under the target and to the left, and you see the results. When I shoot, it's, you're better at that windage than I am. But yeah, 89 feet per second isn't going to make or break you.
No.
But it is faster.
Yeah. Now, the big thing, the Hornady that everybody's out here going all about, hey, this is great, So what did you actually come up with on that?
Well, that was an average of 1,779.5 feet per second out of the two Hornadys, which is 512.5 feet per second faster than the hand load.
Wow. And
601.5 faster than the Remington core lock.
Wow.
You do not want to shoot those things out of a traditional black powder 4570. And I got to tell you something Mr. Obvious always points out to me, how flat the primer gets on that. Golly, they got this thing as hot as it can get.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
that sucker's zipping.
You can do the primer. A lot of people look at primers on guns. Primers is where you're going to tell your pressures. That tells you your pressures. A lot of people, oh, look at that crater. The crater don't tell you nothing. That tells you, yeah, you got a crater there. That's because the crater went back in to your firing pin hole. That's where you get the little crater. Your pressures is on the edge, outside edges of your primer. If it's real rounded, it's not very hot. If it's the roundness starts going away, if it squares off.
Like that's pancaked out. Yeah.
This is pancaked out. It's got just a little bit. So they're underneath just a little. They can go a shade more, but they're running the jagged edge.
Hornady, you don't need to go anymore. That's perfect.
That's perfect.
I mean, out of this short-barreled guide gun, really this is a defensive firearm more than anything. I think that's the intent behind it in bear country or whatnot for a guide. Hence the name guide gun. But yeah, I mean, those Hornadys are pretty stout. I still would carry the 405 grain cast bullet as a defensive round though, because you're wanting penetration, and these are hollow points in the Hornady. But yeah, this thing I think shot great today. You gotta love a 4570. Yeah. I mean, you just gotta love them. They've been around for a long time. I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon. They're going to be with us for years to come.
Yeah.
And as far as hand loading, when things are getting scarce and whatnot, hand loading these with black powder you can do. So if you get a hold of black powder or you make your own, there's formulas out there for that. But it's going to work. This is something, 45 caliber bullet over 70 grains of black powder. That's where that comes from.
Yeah.
So I love this thing. I've always liked it. They don't kick radical or anything like that. It's about like a 12 gauge shotgun. It's nothing crazy. So the porting and stuff that you can get on these, I don't see any reason to do that. It's actually pretty much a sweetheart. So
Yeah.
But this thing's been great. Been doing this YouTube thing more than anything for us. It's a kick. It's a kick for us to see everybody's comments. I've gotten to talk to people that I never would have spoken to before. It's just a neat thing that there's a gun community out there where we can get together and talk about things that we all have in common. So it's when all this other garbage is going on in the world, we've got one thing in common. We like our firearms, and we can get together with that and have a good time. And we appreciate your time sitting here with us. So
that's right. And there's nothing like getting out and having fun. We got a lot of videos to come.
Oh yeah,
we try to get our nephews, grandsons, and all that together and do a little video maybe one day with them. I mean, family thing.
We've got a lot coming. So, you know, just remember, everybody, be safe, keep your knives sharp, keep your powder dry,
and subscribe to Last Minute Man.